So I'm at a site, shell site here on Burnhamthorpe and Dixie. Call was the car wash is shut down. There's no water pressure. So just looking to show the number of vehicles that have been here. I've been on the site for about half an hour, and a steady stream of them going through. Now, come inside. The path of the water is through the meter, up and through, and these are one of these sites that, even though Region Appeal doesn't have a backflow bylaw, I guess for whatever reason, the backflows are modified so that we have a single premise here that then goes along to a backflow that protects domestic water, and another backflow that protects processed water, and then yet another backflow that does irrigation. If this was Hamilton, that would be necessary. As I say, here in Peel there are no backflow bylaws, and it's, well, my humble opinion, I think it's a bit of a waste of money. Subsequently, because of the low pressure, a booster pump has now had to be installed, and the booster pump controlled off of a pressure switch. You can see typically the pressure here is hovering somewhere around 70 psi. 60, 70 is where it's fluctuating. From here, the line goes up and overhead and down and into and out of the water softeners. And then we have a gauge here at the top, which is sort of post softener. You can see it's generally hovering at around 70 psi, but does group down to like 55 or 60. And that changes, though. We get a decent droop when the rinse happens. You can see the water line level here. As the rinse water is used, you see that gauge up there. I don't know if you can read it, but it's down at around 40 pounds. And it'll stay at 40 pounds as long as this tank is filling. The water pressure at 40 pounds is not really an issue as long as it maintains water in this tank, because the wash equipment has its own pump to boost the water pressure for the rinse. The critical issue here is to make sure that this tank stays full, or relatively full, so that this pump doesn't lose water. You see, while it's filling, getting close to where it needs to be. The gauge up there goes from 40, and as soon as it's full, you'll see it hop back up to 60 or 70. There it goes. Well, we're going to have another rinse now. Draining off of this tank. And this gauge is dropping again back down to 40 pounds. And that's the cycle, it just keeps doing that. I think what happened earlier today is perhaps the booster pump wasn't running, this one back here. Perhaps it wasn't functioning, which is causing low pressure through the water softeners, and perhaps not allowing enough water to get into this tank. But everything's working well now. If you go out into the tunnel, the cars are getting lots and lots of water for the wash and for the rinse. So this call is complete.